Dracula.
Oh, what is up, guys? We got some familiar faces back. Rodney with his about a month. What is it, like once a month or a little over? Shows up.
It's usually the bigger movies.
And then this guy came back. I don't know if you remember him, Mr. Mustache. Josh hasn't been over here in like 7 months.
7 months.
You know, I mean, it's almost been a whole pregnancy, buddy.
Yeah.
He's actually a fire starter now.
Yeah.
So
Fire
he
starter.
goes around and starts fires and lets the fire department clean it up.
Yeah, but we'll talk about that. We're going to do a Monday Mayhem for the first time in like 7 months.
Not a good look for me. But okay.
But right now we're going to talk about a movie. I don't even know how to say. What is the ship's name?
Demeter.
Right. Well, we almost should change this to Monday Mayhem. It's the way it's starting.
The last voyage of the Demeter.
Yeah. Is it Demeter?
It's
Demeter?
Demeter.
I thought it was Dementor. Like,
Dude, it
There's
does
no
look
N
like
in
Dementor for a second. It's like you Harry Potter fuck sticks.
yeah, right. But what we think about the movie, and we can talk about, I don't know, some spoilers after.
So this became a real quick number one anticipated for me.
That's pretty
early
wild.
in the year because after Barbie had come out. Just because Barbie was my number one for a long time.
That's a good 1-2 punch.
I saw a meme
I
that.
need to
Barbie
see
and
Barbie
Dracula.
still. I still
You
haven't
haven't
seen
seen
it. No, I saw Oppenheimer instead.
Okay, I haven't seen Barbie yet either, so I'm not ashamed.
We should date. And
Date?
Go see that.
You
One
can't
of
say
y'all
Barbie and
can-
then date right after.
We can
Barbie.
both go as Ken, gay Kens.
Gaykins?
Gaykins.
Sounds like a
Dude.
tribe or something.
2 tickets for the Gaykins.
We're the Gaykins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, this movie is like it's based off of like a small chapter in the Dracula book by Bram Stoker, and there's not much detail in it other than this voyage that got lost with Dracula on board. So there's never been any kind of like movies or shows or anything to deal with it. So the fact that, and they even mentioned it in, I don't know when the last time you saw Bram the movie with Dracula with
Been a
Gary
minute.
Oldman.
When I bought it on
Keanu Reeves,
4K like 3 years
His
ago.
fucking accent in that movie is awful. But
Keanu.
they like say something quickly about it, but then let it go, and it's like this is the perfect movie to be made, and you all have not even touched it. Like it makes no sense. So I
Yeah.
was super hyped for this movie.
Oh man.
Yeah, I
I'm
had
just
somebody explain.
wondering if
at
the hype's
work that
real.
This was like a fleshing out of a chapter in the book because I had no
Yeah,
idea.
yeah.
And they say that at the beginning of the movie, the words that come up.
Yeah,
on the
I like how
screen,
they did
which is-
that.
I like that little touch.
It let the people who didn't know any kind of the lore of the books from Bram Stoker like look, this is based off of a little teeny tiny section, but we're gonna turn it into a big ass movie.
Flesh it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I honestly didn't have much hype. Like I was hyped because it's a Dracula movie.
Right.
But my hype was basically just I'm a horror nerd and I love vampires. And I was like, this looks like an intriguing setup, kind of central location where this bigger than life type creature and character even can just wreak fucking havoc. I'll jump aboard this vessel. I was into it.
Did you fix your door window?
No, still broke. Fucking Dracula did it. Monday Mayhem. No, but yeah. And what did we think, guys? Did we like it?
I didn't like it as much as I wanted to.
I saw
but
that coming.
I really enjoyed it. If that makes
I
sense.
enjoyed it.
That's where I'm at.
It
too.
didn't. I was waiting for that thing to push me over the top.
It
kinda
just
with
never
it, and
did.
It was just kind of
It
just
what-
enjoyable.
Just
the
like
whole
the
time.
boat you're
Which
rocking.
is like a blessing and a curse because a lot of movies can either go too heavy with shit or
Yeah.
they go too heavy for too long and then out of nowhere it just sours down. But this movie, like we were talking about earlier, because we barely talked about it, but enough, the pacing of it, for me at least, was really good. Like there wasn't enough Dracula. I'll go on and tell y'all right now, if you're looking for like Dracula throughout this movie, you get like 7 scenes with him, maybe.
Yeah.
But the scenes with him are pretty intense.
I got a love-hate relationship with that.
Yeah, I concur with that statement. That's a good
Because
statement.
less is more is better. But I kind of wanted that.
Can be.
Well, it was in this movie, but at some point you do need to unleash your central villain and have him just wreak
But that's the
complete
thing is
havoc. And they never really kind of did
They
that.
never really.
Like, he gets his moments to shine, don't get me wrong, but I love, in the beginning of the movie, there's a lot of theater of the mind, playing with your brain, making you like, oh shit, is that him? Is it not him? Kind of in the shadows. Perfectly done. But you never really got that unleash moment on the back end. The best type of horror movies to me are like where you don't give it all away right away, but on the end, by the end of the movie, you're satisfied with just some like scene that just glorifies him and all his greatness. Whereas it does that to an extent at the end, it doesn't quite hit the volume that I wanted it at. So that's where it kind of gets held back for me. And pacing issues actually did happen for me. The middle of the movie kind of drug a little bit for me. It kind of hit a little bit of a
where
lull.
they're trying to figure out.
I don't know. It's like
off one by one,
they weren't doing anything wrong, but I was really intrigued with the build up. And then like once Dracula first started running amok on the ship, but then there was this little like there was people dying, but like overall everything that was happening in between the deaths was starting to lose me a little more. Like I wasn't as engaged, and then it kind of came back around at the end.
They don't hold back.
Maybe it doesn't need to
with,
be 2
with
hours.
The deaths.
Maybe an hour and a half.
No. It's an hour 45.
I think it's an hour 59.
50 something.
Yeah, it's like 2 hours. Yeah, I think it's an hour 59.
Oh my god.
Pretty
Pull it
sure.
up right now.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Brandon won't.
I threw my phone. No, the fuck I won't.
But,
so did you have any pacing issues, Josh? Or?
Very
cut you
little.
off,
Not
Rodney.
to a point where it lowered my score or anything, but mine was a little more like almost getting into the third act, like the end of the second act is where I thought it started to drag a little bit.
Yeah, hour and 59.
You can't trust Google.
Yeah,
But,
you really
but
can't though
going on to
sometimes.
the less is more, one of my favorite Dracula scenes was when he killed that dude and you only see his hand on the guy's head, and you see
eating
how
his neck.
big his
Yeah.
hand, like his hand's covering the whole dude's face, and you're like, holy
And that's when he was
shit.
weak. That's when Dracula was like weak and needed blood
Well, yeah,
to like.
I was thinking
build
that
up.
too, because like this isn't like overly spoiler. We want to tell you who's dying and what's not. But we got
Spoiler
to give
alert.
some type of reviews. No spoiler alerts. But I think what the fuck, dude? Now I got confused saying that shit. But yeah, that's what I was thinking. That like first dude that does get offed, he kind of does have an opportunity where it's just like, damn, dude, if he just would have knew what he was dealing with, he might have been able to save the day and prevented all this from happening. Because that was your golden opportunity to
weak
attack
Dracula.
him. And he got built up on him, and it just kept going, and he got stronger and stronger and stronger.
Do what?
Yeah, good call.
I'm just kidding.
He's like, but I'm also not. What'd you say?
No, well, that's the thing.
Yeah.
I was wondering if they were gonna go that route in this movie. I didn't know if they were gonna make Dracula already at full health, just because like in the trailers it seemed like he was fully gained. You know what I'm saying? Like
the
he
world
was
is
there.
a campfire.
Which, by the way, some of my favorite scenes in this movie were him just standing there stalking. Like, dude, there's a scene where the first or second guy that gets the first guy that gets turned, and the one
won't
that
say
knew
who.
already that there was evil on the boat and shit. Like when Dracula was standing behind him, I was like, oh, he's about to get killed, but he doesn't. Like Dracula does nothing, and I'm just like,
He's fucking
what
with
the
him.
fuck
yeah,
is
he
he gonna
turns
do?
around.
Yeah, I like
There's
that.
nothing.
Jumps.
And
Yeah.
that's the kind of shit like
Theater
in the
of
horror
mind.
movies that I love
Yeah,
most.
they play with your mind
Where
when
less
you're
is better.
expecting. Yeah, it's so good, but never quite got a leash.
Yeah, that's the thing though. Is like the kills were dope. Like
I
the
have
one you were talking about,
qualms
the hand
with
on the
that,
face.
though,
Like he had his
too.
hand on the face, but I maybe know what you're talking about. But like he like was biting. This is the first time you see Drac, and he's like not even biting this dude's neck. He's like straight up like sucking the
life.
blood
He's
out.
sucking
Like
him
and you
off.
can tell,
Nah.
sucking his
Sucking
nut. He's
dry.
like the biggest hickey on earth. But
Sucks him dry.
he
dude.
comes up from his neck or whatever, and it's real slow and it's intense and it's like bloody and shit. But then when he comes up, like, and I hate it so much because like it's all CG blood.
Yeah.
They couldn't use the fucking real like pig blood or whatever fake blood. They had to go CG, and I was just like, it really did take me out of that scene for like a split second. Like I did not like that.
This movie is gory, so I'm glad
Ish.
that that's there. But I did kind of wish that they took the kills further.
Way further.
Because here's the thing.
It's Dracula.
Again, not like huge spoilers or anything, but when I'm watching this, I didn't want him to just like, like, oh, I'm sucking your blood and there's a lot of blood. That's basically the flavor, and that's Dracula. But I kind of wanted him to be menacing to where like he might suck their blood and then fucking
Rip
just
off limbs and
rip
shit,
off a
yeah.
limb, just like and kill them after for like sport almost, or like just for fun. Like, maybe he goes back and grabs somebody by the head and just like yanks it back and their whole fucking neck
please.
detaches and blood shoots
Yeah.
up. Like just rips the whole head
Like
off.
give me a
and
30
just,
Days of Night.
even
type
yeah,
shit.
like even picks up the body like and just drinks it, like
That would
like
be
by the
dope.
shoulders, like something fucking and then somebody comes out and sees that and it looks over. I'm like,
They should have done that
does
with
it?
Toby.
You're just like, you should have directed this. No, but like they could have. I just wanted it to go a little darker with the murder side effect. It felt like he had a personality for sure. Like there was, which was dope. It kind of gave him like, you know, like he was toying with them, he was fucking with them. He was coherent. He didn't seem like a killing machine that was just serving himself just out of necessity. But the way he killed them kind of did feel that way. I wish it also would have mirrored that, how he was fucking with them, with just the playful nature of just ripping them apart and also getting off on that standpoint. And it didn't really explore that enough for me.
And they didn't really talk about too much about like why he was being shipped or where he was coming from. Because this movie kind of leaves it open-ended to where you can make a sequel to it, or you can make a prequel to it, because there was a guy who got off the ship at the beginning of the movie because he knew what it was. You know what I'm saying? So he got off the ship, which is why the black dude got on there. Corey Hawkins, by the way, the black dude, was awesome.
He made the movie.
He was really good at it. And
I want to talk about characters.
Desmundo.
Yeah, he was good.
The best character in this movie.
But let's talk about other characters, because everybody else kind of was man to me. Like, I didn't like Davos. I'm going to call him Davos because he's always going to be Davos from Game of Thrones. It's not that he was terrible. It just, like,
they didn't give him much to do.
I wanted more from him. Like, I expected to walk away from this movie and him be, like, heroic and just being, like, awesome and, like, just like, man, Davos just really, like, that sea captain. What perfect casting. Like, he just nailed it. It was kind of just like he was just there. It was very man to me, and that was disappointing to me. So that brings me into like my rating. I'm not gonna say my rating, but goes into my rating. Is there was a lot of ebb and flow here with this movie, much like the boat was doing. Yeah. Okay. Now. Right.
Anyway,
He's like, I don't even know what's going on. Wolf Creek references. Yeah. But what would you think of character? You said meh on
I mean,
were you disappointed in Davos?
Yeah, like you were saying, I
wanted more.
And I don't think it's fair to expect his Game of Thrones character to play over,
Mm-hmm.
but I kind of, for whatever reason, was having that kind
it's
of
like guilt.
expectation.
Who was your
like
favorite character in this movie?
What, Hawkins? Corey
Yeah,
Hawkins, that's his
probably.
name? Now,
Yeah.
I think that's where the movie hit a lull for me, because he was carrying the movie so hard that I think in the middle, how like he was just so captivating, it kind of fell off. Like, I feel like in the beginning with like certain lines and shit he had, it just was like, damn, I'm really feeling his character. In the middle, it kind of maybe spread everything around a little more, and everybody else was a little weaker, and I didn't get enough of him. So then when that happened, I felt the runtime a little more, and then by the end of it, when everything picked up that we'll talk about in spoilers, I was like captivated again.
Dude, I don't know. I kind of have to disagree, just because like I was captivated the whole time between his chemistry with Desmundo.
Yeah, it
Like,
was
that
great.
chemistry
He
was
easily,
awesome.
and the girl I think ended up being good. By the end of it, she
But
won
yeah,
me
the
over.
beginning, like when she was like she healed, I guess you want to call it temporarily healed.
Having a grudge against her, I think at first. It was like, why is this character even here? Like, really, we're gonna do something with this? We'll go into more about her character in spoilers, but
It made sense why she was there. To
yeah,
me.
but it kind of was just like, what is her purpose really gonna
Well,
serve?
because
like, does she need to be like main character-ish?
them fixing her up is the whole reason this movie happened.
Yeah.
Like if they'd have left her be, then there would have been no issues on this boat. Like she was literally there for that purpose.
Yeah, I don't know. It just felt like she kind of came out of nowhere, and then now I just didn't really buy into her at first. I just like in my mind, I was like, I don't really need to give a shit about this girl. She's just gonna serve that purpose and that purpose only, and maybe that was unfair. And then by the end of it, I was like, okay, she was good. But yeah,
There's a lot more emotion in this movie. I thought there'd be too.
yeah,
There was
kind of nailed that down.
a lot of emotion. Like I just figured I'd go into like a wham bam, thank you ma'am, vampire Dracula movie, but it turned out like there was a lot of like, and it's mainly Corey who had those scenes
He's
too.
good,
It's
dude.
just
He was really good. He had some great dialogue in there. Well,
he's
acted.
actually a really good actor.
Oh yeah, he
like-
nailed it harder than I thought he was going to.
And he's a dance and sing man. Like in the Heights. Oh my God, he's so
But
good. in The
of course.
Heights.
But I think where he shined even brighter, everybody else fell a little flatter, because this movie wasn't just your run-of-the-mill, almost like a slasher movie
Yeah.
with Dracula. They added in those elements, which is great, but everybody else was kind of just passable to like, I could do without this person. There wasn't enough power. But like you said, what's his name? I always forget his fucking name.
Desmundo.
Yeah, he was really good too. I think the kid was pretty good.
Dude,
by
he
the
can
end of
do
it, too.
anything. that Desmond guy. He can do fucking
He can.
anything.
Insane actor. Ever since I saw him in Prisoners, I've been
Be
fucking
Polka
locked
Dot
into
Man,
him.
and then you can be this. Like,
He's
what
good in the
fuck?
Boogeyman this year too.
God, I still haven't even seen.
I
that
wasn't a
shit,
big
man.
fan, but
I
it
don't
was.
think a lot of people were.
I think a lot of people were actually. It's got pretty good ratings.
Really?
Yeah, from fans. Like, not amazing, but just good primarily. But yeah. Any other thoughts before we talk about spoilers and shit?
No, because everything else is spoiler territory.
Yeah, spoil away.
Spoiler warning.
Will
As
it
you
be
can see
ratings
right
after?
here,
Or?
it says
Yeah.
spoilers.
Right after the spoiler.
It does, and we're not gonna edit that in because we don't do that. Nah. First of all, dude, I was not expecting Dracula to have that big of a dick. I
saw
mean,
his dick?
I'm fucking with you.
I was gonna say,
That's the
when the
first spoiler. I like how Rodney's like, wind, bro. Timestamp.
Rewind.
Timestamp. No, I'm trying to think. There was like one big spoiler. Okay, we're going to talk about spoilers. Okay, here's the thing. One person died, or one person lived, and the black guy lived? Are you fucking kidding me?
Hey,
All the white people died and the black person lived? Racist. No, I'm just playing.
they finally get their moment. dude.
No, it's funny. I don't care. It's just a joke. But I thought about that. I was like, look at this. I thought of like black guy always dies. I'm like, literally one black person. All the white people lived. I was like, congrats, brother.
And he made
you
all
it.
smart decisions.
He
Like,
did.
This whole movie was.
Yeah, he killed it. Even
really-
though I'm joking, but really actually thinking about it though, if there was one white guy on a ship and it was all black people and the white dude survived, there probably would be some pushback. They'd probably be like, "What the fuck,
Dude,
bro?
that'd be
You
called the
killed off
most
every
racist-
black person and you let the one white
and
guy
the
survive?"
woman and the child.
Yeah, that's funny to think
No,
about.
dude,
Went from a joke to like, okay, well maybe there is something to this.
The
Nah,
child,
I like
Toby's
it.
dead though.
That
Like
shocked
good.
the shit out of me.
as soon as it happened, I
Good.
was like, okay, so nobody is off limits in this fucking movie. Anybody at any point can die.
Yeah.
Which kind of bumped up
Always
the movie
love
for
that.
me
Yeah.
when they do
Always
something
love
like
that.
that.
Yeah, that
Because
was a good
agree.
moment.
You think he's gonna get out of it, or somebody's gonna like come around to where Drax's not gonna be there anymore, but they just said, "Fuck it."
I really
Fuck
thought
this
he was
kid.
gonna die. I was in on it. I was like,
What Drax? Or-
no, the fucking kid. I was like, dude, they're gonna kill. Because I'm sitting there. That was actually surprising that Corey, whatever the fuck his name is,
Hawthorne.
survived. Because I was like, everybody dies in this movie. It's like a spoiler alert kind of movie. You just know. So when somebody actually made it off, I was like, oh, okay. But the whole movie, I was like, how are they gonna kill the kid? When are they gonna kill the
Yeah,
kid?
the
How would
beginning
that
is
work?
deceiving like that though. It shows the
That's what they
shipwreck
say,
and like
and everyone's
nobody.
dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just assume. So like, were y'all surprised though that the main character that was not Davos?
I wouldn't say I
lived?
was surprised.
Were you like, oh shit, someone does live?
But I was just like, oh okay.
Yeah.
The ending wasn't too hot for me. Other than the bar scene. The bar scene.
The bar
I
scene
loved
was
that.
dope, and
I
I did
loved
like
it.
the emotion of the girl just like not wanting to live like that and burning up,
You could
which
see
we can
her
talk about.
eyes starting to gloss over.
Dude, the
Yeah.
one white eye.
Yeah,
oh
that was
my
cool as
God.
shit.
Effect.
And she's just chilling, talking, and then she just catches fire, like right there, dude. Like, which is another thing that we talked about. Like, them
Fire's pretty
catching
cool.
fire and shit was so good. Like, it looked so good when they would catch fire, and they
Mhm.
they went brutal with it. Like, they
Yeah, due to
showed
the
you
sunlight,
them melting and
obviously,
everything. Yeah, that was good on that. But did you get like a Jeepers Creepers vibe?
Yeah,
from
for
it,
sure.
dude?
When he fucking wrapped one bitch up and she was
Oh,
like
yeah, that's
inside,
really
it
cute.
was
Yeah.
dude. It was immediately like.
I
Jeepers
wish they'd have
Creepers
gone
2.
more into that, just because I wanted to see what
Nah.
that was really doing.
Well, if they
The
did,
shit was like glowing.
if they have a sequel, we'll see.
Do you think they'll go sequel or do you think they'll go
If it-
prequel?
Sequel, dude.
They left it open
For a sequel,
like
for
him
sure.
hunting him
Though.
down.
Yeah, but I think and the thing is, even though I'm not over the moon about this movie, I did enjoy it. I'm definitely in with, especially because like the guy that made the movie lived, so him going into a sequel,
And then just like
just hunting this guy, I'm cool with that.
and him at full power now. Well, not
Yeah.
full power, but
And now we're not, condensed to a ship. Like, let's see what he can do. Just like, meeting
he's
with people.
fucked.
It'll be interesting.
he's
dude.
so fucked.
And that ending, like, I guess we could talk about
Dude,
that a little
with
bit
Dracula
too.
getting wings like he had, like that's a whole new
That was
like
sick.
concept to me. Like he don't turn into no bat or anything like that. He just has these gruesome
Massive
looking,
wings.
fuck yeah, like and they are bad because the wings go like from his like really from his hand because he had like almost webbed hands, and it went all the way to his ankles. So like it was like a glider, like Dracula, which was the scene where the fucking Chinese guy goes out there on the boat, and Dracula's like flying over him. I'm just like, oh my
that was
God,
the first time. That was the first time he looked like Gollum to me. When he landed on the edge of the boat, and it just showed the outline. You could just see it was gray. I fully was ready for him to be like, precious. Just like, oh shit. But that's one thing I got to talk about, and I wish it maybe, again, less is more, so maybe not, but maybe it would have helped my score even more. I love when he talked to them. That was fucking dope.
The words he said.
The first time he fucking talks, I was like, that's fucking dope. That was actually my favorite moment of the movie.
He repeated back what the guy said.
Yeah, because I don't
remember what it was.
It was, he said, like,
don't kill me.
Yeah, he's like, please leave or something or some shit like that. It was like, please no. That's what it was. It was like, please no, I'm pretty sure. But that was the perfect element of theater of the mind type of moment coming to a head and seeing him kind of like more full on. Like that was like, that's it. That balance right there in that scene is the sweet spot for me. Because that was when I was like, went from liking the movie, like, okay, I love this. And then it kind of went back to like territory. But watching like, they're hearing the knock, and you're just kind of like, oh, shit.
Dude, the knock aspect was dope.
It was kind of like, this motherfucker's, like, luring him in. And then the dude coming out, and it's like, oh, shit. And then you hear the knock again, and then they got to explore it. It's kind of like, oh, fuck, dude, this is intense. And then he comes out of nowhere, bashes dude's head in, and then you're thinking other dude's going to get away because he feels like one of the more main stars. And then him looking down, and now it's full frontal. Now it's came to a head, and it feels like earned. And he's like when he was running up there, what I just say, please don't, or whatever. Please no. And then the way it looks at him, and it just gives you, like, everything right in that moment. It looks at him, it's like, please no. And it's just like, oh, shit, like that spiked the movie a lot for me. That scene is probably my favorite, like in terms of like amped up. That was the best scene for me. And we see it again with the main character. I love when he talks in. The only other time he talks when he's just like, I'm not afraid of you, and he's like, you will be.
Yeah,
that was dope.
Yeah,
just waiting to just get ripped apart, which I almost wish he would have done it, but then maybe we don't get the sequel.
What'd y'all think of the look?
I loved the look of Dracula.
Dude, I like the teeth.
Yeah,
all the teeth were
it's
long.
Weird.
It wasn't just like the two fang teeth. It was more monstrous. More.
It's like some angles. Maybe it's because it's like very CGI-ish. It would be like, but then other times, overall, I think I came around on it. Where I was just like, it's just a cool design. It's kind of dope. It feels like a new spin. It's cool. I dug it.
There's a lot they can do with it.
One aspect I loved of the movie is when you figure out Dracula's like smart and he's rationing his food.
Yes.
He's rationing the people, not killing them all at once. Like because they've got so long till they reach England, and Dracula knows that, so he's not killing.
So
I thought that was a really cool.
So and therein lies the other issue is like, how many times has he gone on this trip? Like, how many times has he gone from place to place like this? Like, what's the deal here? Like, we need to know more. That's why I'm so. That's why I'm a prequel over a sequel.
That's what I was gonna say. If they're doing a sequel though, or a prequel, whatever, maybe they already have it planned out, and they're hoping.
The problem is the movie industry gets
money?
so sucked up into sequels that by the time they do a prequel, it doesn't even fucking matter anymore. You know,
I'm not big on prequels for the most part, anyways. Like,
I mean, I always want the story to carry on.
Because you could do a
there
sequel.
Are certain stories where it's like, oh, I've got to see a prequel to this.
You could do a sequel and fucking still find a way to mesh that in there. Explanations of different shit. Like maybe fucking the lead character when he's trying to find him and he's like, I've been through this before. He has to go visit somebody that also he finds out has been through it before, and he's like, he would pick us off one by one, and then you fucking have a little flashback.
The guy that got off the boat had that fucked up face and eye.
Yeah.
And I almost wonder if maybe he ran into Dracula or something. Now that you're just saying that, and they could do a prequel and show.
Dude, the bar scene, though, we can talk about more about that, too, though. Like at the end, the very last scene with Dracula. The very last scene. They're, like, at a bar, aren't they? Was it even a bar? Maybe it wasn't a bar.
But,
Yeah, you're just like trying to like. I don't know if I'd call it a bar
He was
person.
dressed in like human clothes.
Dude,
Now
the
that-
outfit was amazing.
That was interesting because again, the
like a Jack
tap
the Ripper
thing,
kinda look.
fucking dope. But honestly, like I leaned over Rodney, I was just like, watch it be like some fucking like, because he was like human form, and I'm like, that's a good point. Like if we see him in human form here, like what if it's like a big time fucking actor, or like somebody that's doesn't have to be big time, but like a surprise guy, like holy shit, that's Dracula.
No,
Like,
it's a Doug Jones kind of guy, just someone who does
But-
like all the.
It's Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, that's what that name popped in my head immediately. Then I
Renfield,
realized
too.
Renfield. But that would have been wild if it was like Sean William Scott.
Oh
I'm
my
just playing.
so random, dude.
I know. I tried to say the most random fucking person I could
That is
think
a
of.
good one,
Sean William Scott's just like,
dude. But
you
like
will
what
fear me.
I
It's
think
like,
what
oh,
got me
shit.
too is like he walked past him
Love
and like
that.
he like whisked
Brushed
his
Yeah,
like,
that was the shit.
because he cuts him at the Hawthorne, the main black guy, like he cuts
Yeah.
him on the ship before he's like he was gonna
Right on
bite
the
him,
cheek
but he
there. Yeah,
you know
yeah.
it doesn't happen.
That's when
So
he
he's got this
tells him.
scar now, and Dracula when he sees him in the pub, he like does his mysterious like moves quick and shit, just like
Yes, sir.
this right over his neck, and just I can imagine like the feeling of like, dude, you just beat me again, like just like that,
Yeah.
you just beat me, and
And
then
it
he
was-
follows him out, and it's like, dude, just
The end.
let's see what happens, like keep it going. That's
For
why I'm cool with
sure.
either or sequel, prequel.
Because that. It was dope too, because it was like in a blink, he was from a seat to behind him, boom, gone in like 0.2 seconds.
The
was
sequel,
like
I think
shit.
they got more options to have it be like a bloody playground. 'cause
Right, but
they're
they-
in England.
They can also fuck it up real bad.
Yeah.
Because if they have two. So here's the thing I like about chamber pieces is there's not much you can do to fuck them up because it's all one setting. The whole movie takes place in one area, so it's like
It's my favorite shit.
dude,
I
chamber
love
pieces are like my
I love 'em.
favorite. Yeah.
single
Sunset Limited
locations
is
are the
one of my
best shit.
Like one of the best movies ever made, in my opinion, is Sunset Limited, and it literally takes place inside of an apartment for the whole hour and a half.
That's a kind of a gripe I thought of actually just now. This movie had a real good, because it is a chamber piece, as you say, ability to make the movie feel really claustrophobic.
Yeah, in such a
And that-
massive boat.
And
too.
I feel like it didn't really do that. Now that I think about it.
Well,
Like-
the boat they made they made like the bunk of the boat seem like a fucking.
Oh yeah, I mean
mansion.
it's
Like,
it's
was
huge, but it's a central location. There's movies that pull that off, where like even though it's like big and there's a lot of place to move around, you're still stuck in
There's
one
a lot of
spot,
clutter, though.
and it's like a claustrophobic feel. This movie, I don't think it really achieved that, and I didn't think about that till just now. Which isn't like a huge gripe. It's more of like a big bonus you could have pulled off, and I don't think they did that well. Yeah.
We got scores.
Yep.
Bum, bum, bum.
I
You
do.
go,
Ready to
Rodney.
hit 'em?
Okay,
What you got?
it's in between 7.9
In between, okay.
and 7.9. So you all guess which one it is.
7.9.
7.8.
7.9.
Oh shit, I was
Josh
close.
wins.
Oh, yeah.
You're so stupid.
I was there for a long time.
Yeah, 7.9 for me. This is where
It's
it's
like on the
like I
cusp.
wanted this movie to be great, but it's not great territory for me. Only just because like
There's elements.
it's
though.
Dracula. Like this needs to be more violent. It needs to be more, I think, fleshed out. No pun intended. Needs to
Bars.
be fleshed
Bars.
out a little bit. You know, what can I say? A real MC at heart.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's just things about it that I feel like could have been better, but overall, a very enjoyable experience for me. And I haven't had no sleep, so I stayed awake the whole movie, which
That's
tells you something.
something.
Because Evil Dead Rise, I slept through like 15, 20 minutes of it. So, yeah,
Nice.
7.9 from Moi.
Yeah. This is a ebb and flow movie for me. There's moments. There's never like, oh God, moments like the ebb and flow that I was joking about with David Gordon Green, but there's moments that are really fucking like great. Like they really nail it down. But there's also a lot of moments that aren't bad, but just came across kind of flat-ish to me that they could have like touched up. Overall, they didn't do anything wrong, but they didn't quite hit that level to make it exceptional Dracula viewing where I got to watch it all the time, which is a little disappointing. But if you like Dracula, you like, movies like this, definitely go see it. Obviously, if you don't care about spoilers, it was a good enough one-off watch at least. I'd probably definitely watch it again.
I'll buy it.
Not in the near future, but I will. But it's 7.3 out of 10 to me.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean we're kind of all on the same page
7.6
here. Nothing crazy. Like I was waiting for this movie for something crazy to happen. I was like, okay, this final act, it could shoot this movie up for me. It didn't do that, but it also didn't drop it. It was just that even flow. I'm at a 70, 7.8, 78 out of 100.
Nice.
If you said 7.3, I'm just like, God damn. Me and you are just like connecting on all cylinders with movies lately for some
Oh,
reason.
y'all been.
Yeah, like everything's been
Last- yeah.
spot on lately for some reason. Like from Nefarious onward, it seems
After
like.
Nefarious, we were opposites.
I can't
on
believe
that.
I'm the only one who fell in love with Oppenheimer. It's
Yeah.
unbelievable to me.
And that was another one we were like, you about the same? Yeah. What's going on there?
I was expecting to be the only one.
No.
That was low on that.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
So 7.9, 7.3, 7.8.
Yeah,
7,
but that's
8.
the last battle at the ship center.
The collective of probably like a 7.6.
Probably. Maybe.